And then when they had loads left over, they were like, what are we going to do with these? And then Winnie the Pooh was like, hang on a minute. Suicide.
Welcome to All the Stuff in Tumble Queensland.
Let's go.
Welcome back.
If you're back.
If you're back. Is that going to be our new thing?
It feels like that's your thing already. Feel like you do that every episode.
Hope you all enjoyed the carnage from last time out.
I didn't enjoy editing it, not going to lie.
No, there was a lot.
That was 4 lots of retard that I had to try and cut out. This week we be doing cults.
Cults. We like a cult.
They're always interesting. Yeah, I don't know what it is about them that interests me.
I think it's like the get away from society. It's like, oh, how do people live away from society?
Is that like your interest?
I think I might one day start up a cult.
I think you're in a cult.
Why?
You're one step away from moving into the woods and living off grid.
I would love to do that. Though,
Yeah, same. So fair.
How
I
good
go
would
away
that
in the
be?
van with no signal. I'm like, boy,
How much simpler would life be?
something, mate.
The only problem I found with a lot of cults is that there seems to be, well, for one, there's a lot of sex. But that's not a problem for me.
Yeah, it's just who you're having sex
It's just
with.
who you got to have sex with.
Because if it's some hairy old dude and he's got his wrinkly balls dragging across your face and he's just like, this is to be part of the cult, man.
Yeah.
I don't want to do it.
So I think I'd start my own cult and just be like, yeah, it's cool,
And then you
man.
can drag your balls over everyone else's face.
Yeah. And
That's how cults
I
work.
probably wouldn't include God quite so much as some of the other people do.
I don't know. Some of the cults I've read about, they don't really fuck with God that much. They just fuck each other.
Yeah, they
That's-
fuck with each other quite a bit.
Sometimes it starts out as like a God thing, though.
Yeah, they usually branch away from something godlike. Religious
Yeah.
like. I don't know. There's a few spiritual ones in there.
It almost all the time, ends up with the leader fucking everybody.
Yeah, like saying to the other guys, you can't fuck your wife, but I can.
Yeah, like, I've got to fuck them for you because you're awful and I'm the
Yeah.
master.
Yeah.
It actually sounds like not a bad gig, to be fair.
I mean, I'm cult free at the minute. If anyone wants to invite me,
if there's any cults that fancy two new guys,
we're ready
Get
for
up.
it.
we used to bath together as well, so I've already seen you naked, so that doesn't bother me.
That was before we was hairy.
I don't know. You were hairy from about the age of 4. I always thought I was fucked up.
'Cause you had
I got to
nothing.
like 13. I was like, I still haven't got any pubes. What the fuck? Just because you were full grown man by 10, so I had like my expectations were a little off.
What a hairy man.
Hairy
Hairy
boy.
little man.
Remember when you used to just stand outside the fucking toilet when I went for a piss, and then I'd turn around, you were just there with your pubes out, like, cheers, Ross.
It was my party piece. It's all I had going for me.
Because you were 10.
I was 10. I was tiny.
I'm like 5, looking down like, bruh.
No, when we got to school, it was like I had like loads of spots. I was like tiny, and I was just like,
When did you start growing a beard?
ooh. Tash was about year 7.
That's madness.
Yeah, I was shaving year 7.
Were you that? No, I was gonna say were you that guy like used to turn up on Sunday League football and there'd be one guy. It's like he is not 14. Look at the fucking size of him. But you was always quite small, so I suppose
Yeah.
you probably didn't have
I was
that.
tiny, but it worked in my favour when I'm trying to get beer and stuff. I'd get served at like 14, 15.
That's crazy. I would never. I still get ID'd now.
It's a confidence thing. You
Is
just
it?
got to go in there, just pick stuff up, put it on the counter, boom, and they don't question it.
Bro, I still panic buying alcohol now. Like, what if they ask? Ooh.
I can't remember the last time I got ID'd.
That's because you look like a jihad. Ain't no way
The only
under
time-
18-year-old has got that beard going on.
The only time I get ID'd is coming back into the country.
Where you been? Turkey? What?
So my wife swapped it for some camels.
You can get a lot of camels out there for
You
a
can.
while.
I reckon I could probably get at least 30 camels.
I don't know. She's quite small.
Yeah.
Not a lot of lady there to be trading for camels.
Does it go on like quantity?
Yeah, what's it go on?
I'm not sure.
Cooking and cleaning skills?
Well, anyway,
Sorry, Colts.
Colts.
You can
Off
cut
top-
any of that out, I suppose, if you need to.
We got off topic there, but that's cool.
Good band.
What do you know about cults other than they're quite interesting?
Not a lot, to be honest. They're just fucking strange. There's always some crazy cunt who decides he's had enough of society, and I'm like, okay, cool, I'm with you. And then he sets up his own little like community. I'm like, okay, I'm still kind of with you. And then before you know it, they've murked someone, or they're fucking each other, or fucking kids, or killing themselves. And I'm like, now you lost me.
Yeah,
That's usually where I
there's the
draw the
turning
line.
point. Yeah, a lot of them seem to end in death. But we know that like the system doesn't like them too much. We know that the narrative is, oh, them people are weird, quite a lot of the time.
Yeah, true.
Before they've even done anything bad, when they're just getting off grid.
Yeah, I kind of get that though. Like, I like going away and then not getting signal. I'm like, oh no, no, I can't talk to it. Oh no,
No one can annoy me.
just
What a
me and
shame.
my thoughts. Oh shit.
Oh, they're that bad.
Yeah, that's bad.
So I had a look to see what the narrative is, the definition behind cults.
Is this like Oxford Dictionary?
This is like, I had a look through a few different places to try and see what the general sort of term was,
Right.
and the sort of what I got from most of them is a term used for a relatively small group which is typically led by a charismatic, self-appointed leader who excessively controls its members, requiring unwavering devotion to a set of beliefs and practices which are considered deviant, i.e. outside the norms of society. This term is also used for new religious movements or other social groups which is defined by its unusual religious, spiritual, philosophical and ritual beliefs, or its common interests, in particular person, object or goal. This sense of the term is weakly defined, having divergent definitions both in popular culture and academia, and has also been an ongoing source of contention amongst scholars across several fields of study. Fuck, there was a lot of S's in that.
That is a lot of S's. You lost me.
Yeah.
My fucking ADHD brain could not keep up then.
Basically,
Went.
basically they're saying that they're weird. Like, basically from that little description, saying, "Oh, typically led by a charismatic, self-appointed leader who excessively controls its members."
That kind of feels like what it is, though.
Maybe.
Like, I don't know any of the other cults that haven't.
I feel like we only hear about the cults that go wrong, though.
Well, so how many cults do you reckon are out there that are fine right now?
I reckon there's quite a few that we don't hear about because they're just off-grid and they're not bothering anyone, they're just living off the land.
But then is that a cult? Does it only become a cult when it goes to shit?
No, I don't think so. Beginning in the 1930s, cults become an object of a sociological study within the context of study of religious behaviour. Since the 1940s, the Christian counter-cult movement has opposed some sects and new religious movements, labelling them cults because of their unorthodox beliefs. So that's just the church getting like butthurt there.
Wait, so the church have labelled some people.
Christian counter-cult movement. Right, they're like, no, you believe in this and that.
Is that like their own FBI division?
Well, yeah, I've got a little bit on that later.
Is their headquarters like the Vatican and they get sent out?
The first thing that I'll say it in a bit, but since the 1970s, the secular anti-cult movement has opposed certain groups and, as a reaction to acts of violence, frequently charged those cults with practicing mind control. Scholars and the media have disputed some of the claims and actions of anti-cult movements, leading to further public controversy. The first thing I found when I typed in cult online, I was just trying to find a definition to start with. I come up with
The Christian church. They're culty as fuck.
right. Yeah, no, yeah, like what?
The church is just a giant cult.
Yeah, how do you define? Like, I mean, if you're following Jesus is a charismatic leader who's got control over all of his.
And
followers.
even if you're not looking that far back, you're following a priest
yeah, who's a
that's
nonce.
telling you, yeah, that's probably touching your children.
Yeah, that's pretty
Oh,
culty.
we're gonna get fucking freedom of speech again.
Why?
Because I just said that priests are nonces, even though that's fact. But we're gonna get freedom of speech.
Yeah.
How dare you?
I mean, you could say allegedly a lot of priests are nonces. So that's not saying that all priests are nonces. Fact, that's saying allegedly, and there has been quite a few cases where they have been caught out being nonces.
How many?
A lot.
When did it start coming out? Sorry, I'm really going off tangent again. But you know,
Well, I don't
all
think
of
the
the
priests have ever come out.
Lol. They just come into children.
I need to apologise to Danny on this one.
Why?
we was winding her up yesterday
Why?
because she's a Catholic,
Oh,
and I was
unlucky.
just winding her up about God and why she believes it, and she was getting a bit butthurt. Sorry, Danny.
I'm not sorry.
Now we'll see if she's actually listened to this or not.
Yeah, right. If you start getting abusive text messages later. All right. Sorry, carry on.
Yeah, so the first thing when I searched cult to try and find a definition, first thing that come up was the Cult Information Centre.
What?
So a bit like, like,
Where is that?
Oh, it's just
I want to
crazy.
go.
It's a British anti-cult organisation. So a cult in itself.
A cult to stop cults.
Yeah, basically.
Who would have thought it?
The organisation also serves as a resource for information on controversial religious groups, therapy cults, and political cults. So if you don't have the same mindset as them, you're a cult. John Campbell of the evangelical Christian group, the Jesus Army, called the Cult Information
Jesus
Centre
Army.
unethical and its views absolute nonsense.
Wait, the church said that about the Cult Information Centre?
Evangelical Christian group.
What are they all about? I've heard of that, but I don't know.
They're called the Jesus Army.
That's fucking dope.
I think they're on Jesus' side there. But yeah, he's called it absolute nonsense. So I'm assuming that little evangelical Christian group also get slandered as being a cult sometimes.
By the cult, what are they called? Anti-cult movement information centre.
Cult Information Centre.
Yeah, they definitely get called a cult by those guys.
The Cult Information Centre cult.
AIC.
Yeah, there
Cult
was a
Information.
There was a guy here, William Shaw, contacted the Cult Information Centre in his 1993 investigation of cults and was explicitly critical of their methods and the reliability of their research throughout his book. His opinion was that individuals had joined cults out of their own hunger to believe and it is dismissive of absurd scare stories. So they've had a bit of kickback. They're like, don't just believe what these guys are saying.
But is that like... So that was the first thing that came up when you typed in cult?
Yeah, that thing come up first. No definition of it or what a cult was or anything, just they come up
That's so fucked
top
up.
of my search. But then I don't use normal searches, do I? Because fuck Google.
Yeah, true. You use some fucking weird ass China virus. It's the China virus. Do you remember when Donald Trump was saying that?
Yeah, and just drink bleach.
Yeah, drink bleach.
Geezer.
Kung flu.
That's good. Right. I mean, we're not going to go deep diving into the actual cults too much.
Yeah, we'll just go through a few. Fuck me, had a stroke.
Yeah, like we'll breeze over them because there's some here that I want to do a deep dive episode, a whole episode devoted to that.
Yeah, there's some crazy
particular
shit.
cult because there is some. If you really want to get like the history of it and then like the growing of it, sometimes there's been like branches off of it and then they've gone off on their own separate ways. Like, so I feel like to get the full scale of the actual whole cult and how it become a thing and how some of them have ended, I feel like you need to know the whole story. But we're gonna breeze across a few.
Hit me with a couple. By the way, for anyone that's been listening the whole time, my notes page has reached an all-time low today, and that is 0.
See, Kieran wanted to do, when we first started the podcast, Kieran was like, yeah, I just want to do like chitty chat stuff, like a bit like Joe Rogan. He just gets all these interesting people, and I was like, bruv, we don't know these many people.
I'm interested.
But we're like, oh yeah, we're just going to get all the Medway boys on and just talk about what?
Talk about Medway.
Talk about Medway.
It's the fucking way, boy.
Whereas I like my deep dives. I like feeling intelligent after a 7-hour.
Yeah, but then I
podcast.
don't feel like either of us are intellectual enough to reread shit that we've read online and make it sound interesting.
Maybe. So
We're both that kid in the English class that when it got to them reading a book, everyone was like groaning, like, "Oh, for fuck's sake, who let this dickhead read again?" And I'm like, George shot Lenny. What the fuck? He just wanted to tend the rabbits. Fuck.
You just squeeze them too hard.
Yeah, I've never been good at reading out, so this is why my notes page is 0.
Well, I never realised that I had speech impediments like, for 31
Yeah,
years.
this has really been humbling. It's been a humbling experience.
I don't know if I want to start with that one because it's the one that I find most interesting and most bizarre.
Alright, save it for last.
We'll save that one for last then. We'll start with
Hit me some other cards.
there's one in Japan which we read about the other day.
What
It's
one was this one?
the
Oh, was these the
Shinrikyo.
Was these the apocalypse guys?
Well, most of them seem to be apocalypse, but it was a guy called
Shum.
Ashari. No, Asahara.
Arse Harry.
Yeah.
Can we call him Arse
Shoko
Harry?
Asahari. He founded it sometime in the mid-80s in Japan. When he was younger, he lost part of his vision.
How did he manage that?
I'm not 100% sure, but he started a cult, and I believe that they just followed him blindly. Yeah, this Shinrikyo translates to supreme truth. In
Oh,
1980,
they're always using words like supreme and shit, aren't they?
yeah, like we're the best.
Like supreme and like glorious and magnificent. Like, why are they always such big words? They all sound very biblical to me.
Yeah.
It's a cult.
Well, you say biblical. He established it as an official religion in 1989. He got up to about 30,000 followers. Like, that's
you
more
have to,
followers
you know,
than me on Instagram.
You know, talking of on Instagram, you know, if you have, do you have to have like a certain amount of followers before you can get a blue tick?
Possibly.
So then, do you have to have a certain amount of followers before you can legally register a religion, or can I just go down to the building in a minute and be like, thinking of starting up a new fucking thing, and they're like, oh yeah, what is it? I'm like, religion. They're like, cool, what's the name? Give them a name. Done. I'll just set up a religion.
Yeah, I think so.
Or do you have to have like Instagram page, Facebook page, church?
Well, no, the Taliban have got a fucking Instagram page or something, haven't
Have they?
they? I think it was Twitter.
I bet they've been blue ticked.
I can't remember if it was Al Qaeda or Taliban, but when all this shit was going on, when like the Americans were just giving them all their planes back, and they just left, Donald Trump got banned off Twitter, but the Taliban stayed on Twitter.
Fucking censorship at its finest.
Yeah, man, fucking crazy.
Sorry, Supreme Truth.
Supreme Truth, 30,000 followers. I'm assuming they didn't have Twitter back then, 1989.
Nah, they just had, what are they back then? Madonna. Madonna and Tamagotchis, baby.
Yeah.
Wait, when were Tamagotchis? They 90s?
Oh, they were 90s.
Rubik's Cube then.
Maybe. They just seen grunge come through though.
Oh yeah. Fair
What?
play. That is the Supreme Truth, by the way,
Yeah.
guys. If anyone's
Grunge.
wondering what the Supreme Truth in the
Is
world
that
is,
what
it's
our-
grunge.
Is that what our main goal is? Grunge.
Yes.
That's
When you know music scenes recycle themselves back around. When we get back around to grunge, that's when the world ends.
Oh, okay.
Because that's the supreme truth of
Yeah.
the world.
Do you think music's a bit like a cult? Like cult-like followers of bands, certain bands.
I
Like
don't think so anymore, but I think
back in the day.
maybe up until about 10 years ago. Like when I was
Yeah.
coming to like the end of school. Damn, I'm old. Coming to the end of school, it started to phase out a bit. There was a lot of people listening to different types of music,
Yeah.
but I feel like before that, it was very like if you listen to rock, you listen to rock. That's it.
Yeah.
Like if you listen to rock, and then you said to someone like, said to one of your rock friends, "Oh, listen to this song," and it was like Eminem. It'd be like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, I was a bit like that in school.
I was like that, but I think I got that off of you.
Yeah.
I was very much like, obviously my music came from you and Dad, so
So I was a charismatic leader.
you were a cult leader. I got culted.
And now I
Holy
look
fuck.
like a cult leader as well.
You do look like a cult
Hell
leader.
yeah. Halfway there.
You just need some sexy suit,
Mm.
like a white tux
Mm.
with like a salmon pink shirt.
Or maybe just one of them like robes or
Just go
something.
naked.
Yeah.
It's
I'm a
easier for fucking
naturist.
everyone.
Yeah. And it's cheaper to buy clothes because you don't buy any.
True that.
I love that. Where was I at with
Oh, yeah, they had Madonna and fucking
yeah,
Rubik's
this
Cubes.
Japanese guy, Arse Hairy. It was he started up this religion. It was a mix of Hinduism, Buddhism, Christianity, and do you want to guess the fourth one?
Muslim.
No.
What did you say? Buddha, Hindu,
Hinduism, Buddhism, Christianity.
Jewish.
No. Nostradamus.
What?
The end of the world guy. Like,
Oh,
predicted
no
the end
way.
of the world in like fucking however long ago it was.
Fair play. That sounds like a great little cocktail of religions.
It does. I love cocktails. Cults love cocktails, by the way. We'll get onto that later.
They love cock.
Yeah, they wanted to get away from like Japanese materialism.
Oh, to be fair, I bet in the 80s Japan materialism was going through the fucking roof, like Nintendo and shit.
Yeah, and it's like to be fair, this is like quite a recent one, really, as well. When you think about it, like '89.
Yeah, true. It's only,
It was going on.
what's that, 30 years ago?
Fuck me, I'm old. Yeah, 3 years.
We both had an
thir-
existential crisis during this.
34 years ago. Jesus. But yeah, they're most well known for attacking Tokyo's subway system.
Oh yeah.
and this was in 1995. They took 5 bags filled with toxic nerve agents on 3 Tokyo train lines during rush hour.
Bro, they were doing Russia before Russia did Russia. Nerve agents, come on.
Yeah. It was sarin gas, which was actually made by the Nazis.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
That was a cult.
Cheers, Hitler.
Yeah. I mean, that was a cult, was it not?
Yeah.
I would say it was. And there's still people that follow that now.
True. Man, that's a cult that stood the test of time.
Indeed. Yeah, on the Tokyo trains, they killed 12 people and injured more than 5,000.
Bruh. When they say injured by a nerve agent, like how far does that go?
So it was anything from making people dizzy, giving people rashes.
Oh, bro, I'd be lapping that shit up and getting a week off work.
And people going blind.
Oh shit, maybe I wouldn't lap that one up.
Yeah, so they basically went blind like him. I wonder if that was part of it. He was like, well, I can't see. You should
fuck everyone else.
Yeah. Yeah, the cult's beliefs were often described as hodgepodge, and the destruction aspects of various religions, while many followers thought that they would develop supernatural powers.
These guys are fucking idiots.
Yeah.
See, this is where they lose me.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I get it. I get, like, fucking...
Destroying materialism.
Like, I don't particularly enjoy the government. I'm like, someone was just like, yeah, let's just start our own... I'd be like, yeah, fuck it, why not? But then they always get weird.
Yeah.
There was like that kid at school who's running around like, acid rain. Like, they're always like that, aren't they? Like,
yeah.
The rain's going to kill us all.
They're the ones you got to watch out for.
Yeah.
Arse Harry was sentenced to death along with 12 other members of the Shinrikyo. 7 members were executed in July of 2018, including Arse Harry himself.
Fair, how did they die? Was it hanging?
It didn't actually say how they was executed. I don't know what their execution's like in Japan.
Do they still have
Well, 2018 they were executed. And,
shit.
And 6 members are still on death row in Japan.
No way.
So they do still have executions.
We should do a whole episode. We should find someone who disagrees with capital punishment and then do a whole episode on it. Just have a debate.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
I see both sides, but I'm for it in certain circumstances.
I think it's got to be absolute.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
No
like,
doubt whatsoever.
like those fucking twats that killed Lee Rigby.
Yeah.
There's literally footage of them fucking do. What the fuck are they going to get? You can't rehab them. Fuck them cunts, kill them.
Yeah, I think if it's absolute,
or if it's like
they've done it,
or like a fucking raging nonce that's been caught red-handed and has had like fucking, you know, when they're like, oh, he's found like 1 million files of child porn on their laptop. Like fuck them guys, kill them.
All the politicians.
Yeah, like all them ones.
Yeah, and the bankers.
Kill them all. If it's like one of them where it's just like, oh, did he kill it? Not sure. Yeah, fair enough. Don't fuck it. Because the amount of times that people have been wrongfully killed, and then like 10 years later, they're like, oh shit, new DNA evidence.
Yeah, or they've been on death row for like 40 years.
Yeah, but if there's literally like fucking footage,
yeah,
I suppose then it gets messy when you start looking at AI stuff now, though.
Oh yeah,
because you can't even. Because I always used to just be like, if there's like fucking video footage, but bro, some of the videos I see on like Instagram now, I'm like, is that real? Is that not real? Is that AI? What is that? So you could then start going down a rabbit hole of people. Yeah. Stitching you up.
It's like a new way of being Clintoned.
Yeah.
Fuck the Clintons.
Fuck those guys.
We got speaking of the Clintons.
Is there a cult with the Clintons?
There was, well,
they are a cult.
A suicided cult, I suppose.
Yeah.
They were actually involved. Well, one of like their general attorneys, directly employed by Hillary Clinton, was involved in the court case and the issuing of the, what do you call it when someone's got a search warrant? A warrant. There you go.
What do you call it when someone's got a search warrant? A warrant.
Got there in the end. She was involved in issuing the warrants for the Waco siege.
Ah.
So that might lead us nicely on to the Branch Davidians. They were considered. Do you know anything about these guys? Have you watched? I
know a little bit. Do a little bit of a background just for people who might not.
Jesus. See, I listened to a podcast on this first, and then I watched a Netflix documentary afterwards, and I went, "There's nowhere near as much information in the documentary as there was in this podcast I listened to." Those conspiracy guys, Gordon Rochford, when he deep dives. Like, if you need information,
it's good.
You need information, go listen to that guy. He doesn't leave any stone unturned. So yeah, when I watched, I was disappointed with the Netflix one because it was so from
like a certain perspective.
It was from a narrative.
I fucking hate when documentaries do that. Like, I love that's why I really like Louis Theroux documentaries. I think because he's so good at getting he speaks to them and he gets both sides and he'll speak to people who have been
and he just stands there and acts dumb.
And he stands there and he just asks the questions and then he goes home and then that's it and he puts it out. And you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I fucking hate the documentaries where it's all from one side. You're like, yeah, but what is the other side to that?
100%. Like, so if I read through a little bit of this, it's only a tiny little brief description of how it started, what happened, how it ended, basically. But and then we'll maybe discuss it afterwards because there's pros and cons.
I can't really remember all of it, so hit me with it. Go with it.
So they were considered to be like a major split from the Seventh-day Adventist Church. So they branched off to be the Branch Davidians. And in 1981, a young man named Vernon Howe, later known as David Koresh, came to New Mount Carmel. Caramel? I think it's Caramel, not Caramel.
You gotta say it in an American accent.
Mount Carmel. And they studied biblical prophecy under Louis Roden. By the end of 1983, Howard, well, let's call him Koresh because that's what he was known as. By the end of 1983, Koresh had gained a group of followers and they separated from Louis' organisation to form a new organisation by the name of Davidian Seventh-day Adventist Association. That's
could have come up with a cooler name.
Yeah.
Why don't you just be called like the Lightning Bolts or something? That would have been so much cooler.
Yeah, man. So they split again from the Branch Davidians. Meanwhile, Louis continued to operate the Branch Davidian Seventh-day Adventist Association from Mount Carmel Centre. So then they started their own ranch up, basically, in Waco. And basically what happened, they lived there was quite a few years. They lived there, like maybe 10 years. He was running this little group of followers. He had over 100 odd people there.
So what was their belief? Was it still like Christian?
Yeah, sort of mainly from a Christian church sort of thing. But he was getting messages from God. He was a prophet.
These
and all of this stuff.
motherfuckers, they're always the same, aren't they?
Yeah. He was one of these that basically told all the blokes that they couldn't have sex with their wives, but he could. There was some other shit come out about like that he was having sex with like girls under 14 and stuff. So that's a big part of it. I go, okay, yeah, maybe God was a bit of a dick, but they basically believed in like a doomsday thing. So they were prepping for the end of the world, and they were gonna be the survivors from the end of the world. They basically went and armed up. Basically, and they
What were they gonna? What did they? How did they think the end of the world was coming?
I'm not 100% too sure. They just thought that an imminent apocalypse.
Because I always find that funny. You know, all these groups that are like, yeah, we're prepping for the end of the world. So they just buy a shitload of AR-15s. You're like, what do you think the end of the world is?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like,
if
do they think it's like people?
Well, some of them think that it's like alien invasions. Some of them.
I don't think an AR-15 is gonna fucking kill an alien.
I don't know.
I reckon
they're ray guns.
I reckon aliens can absorb the bullet, and then fucking if they
squeeze,
it just fires back out their forehead and hits you, but twice the speed.
Is that will fire out their bumhole, but that's on their forehead because they're not.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna work. I reckon they've got like magnetic fields and shit. They can just stop it. If they've travelled from another planet to here, fucking AR-15 ain't doing shit.
Have you heard about the Anunnaki?
Oh, is this the
it's
gold
crazy.
and the?
It's a crazy theory, but it's fucking brilliant.
Is this the aliens?
Yeah.
Aliens needed gold.
Yeah.
To make their spaceships and shit. I think in short, I'm trying to paraphrase for the peoples.
It's sort of trying to keep their planets dying.
Yeah. So
and they need gold and water to keep their planet alive. So they came to Earth and started creating creatures. So they were like mining the gold and taking the water for themselves, taking it away back to their planet. And then they're like, oh, we could get slaves to do this. They created some creatures. So this ties in a load of like mythical creatures as well, like the half horse, half man, and all that sort of stuff, giants and all that shit,
dragons and shit.
And basically that was supposed to be that, and then it ties in with a couple of the Anunnaki ended up mating with a couple of the humans that they created because they created these humans who were fucking great at doing everything. And then they reckon that's where these elite bloodlines come from, all the way down from the Anunnaki, and that's why like the people at the top, they love the gold and all of that stuff. Like, really, it's a really interesting one, but it ties in loads.
It's weird because I remember the first time I heard about that, I was like, "This sounds ridiculous." And then,
but the more you look into it,
and then I read into it, and I was like, Oh shit!
It
Like,
doesn't sound
what
any
if
more.
that? Yeah,
It
like,
doesn't sound any more crazy than Adam and Eve. Or
It doesn't
fucking
sound
Big Bang
any more
Theory.
crazy than the fact that I can literally send a text to someone in Australia and they'll receive it in 3 seconds.
Yeah, that's pretty mad.
That's fucking crazy. If you'd have told someone that like 50 years ago, they'd be like, "What?"
Yeah.
And then so now you tell me about an alien that may or may not create the human race to harvest gold for themselves. I'm like, well,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah.
He's got a point.
Yeah, look into that if you
Yeah,
if you
it's
just
fun.
think that's absolutely fucking
It's
bam pop
fun.
crazy, but it's
You don't even need to do a deep dive. Just have like just Google it
yeah
and then just read what it says, and you'll be like,
yeah. And then
it's
if
just-
that interests you, then go deep diving, get down
It's
that
fun.
rabbit hole.
I like
It's a
getting
good
down.
one. It joins a lot of theories together, and I like it.
I like those conspiracies because they don't seem as depressing.
Well, I don't know, not until you realise that the Anunnaki are still alive, and you've got the reptilians.
Yeah, but then it's cool, innit? 'Cause I'm harvesting gold for the aliens.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
It's not as depressing as like these guys are just butt fucking me at every opportunity that they can.
Yeah, but they're the Anunnaki. They're taking your money.
Fuck the Anunnaki.
They're
Fuck
taking
these
it all-
guys.
Taking it
It's
all back
my
to their
gold.
planet. I think their planet was like Nibiru or something.
Something like that. I think
And it split off. Earth
that
split off
is
from it or
why.
something.
I think that's called the 10th planet, isn't it?
I thought that's Pluto.
No. Wait, how many?
No, it's
Mercury, then
9.
Venus, to the Earth, then Mars, then... Yeah, that's 9.
Is Pluto still a planet? Have they said it's a
Oh,
planet?
that
again now?
changes every fucking...
Yeah.
That changes...
It was a planet when I was at school. Then it wasn't.
Yeah. That changes more than... So I don't even know what
Changes
you're allowed
more
to
than
say.
you change your pants.
No, that changes. But I think Nibiru is the 10th planet.
Oh, okay.
And that's what... Do you know Eddie Bravo? The guy... He's like one of Joe Rogan's best mates. He does like jiu-jitsu. He like owns all these jiu-jitsu schools.
Yeah.
And he wanted to call it like Nibiru Jiu-Jitsu or something. And then Joe Rogan was like, oh, fuck that, man. That's like a mouthful. Everyone's going to be like, what the fuck? So he said, just call it 10th Planet. So now it's called 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu. And that's like one of these huge jiu-jitsu things that's all over like the globe.
That's cool.
So it's called 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu. I'm pretty sure that is the 10th planet.
That's cool. Because I know when I looked into it, when I first thought it was all bullshit, I started looking at stuff, and there was like well-renowned. What was it? People look at the fucking star, astrologers and stuff like
Astrology,
that.
Astronomy?
Astronomy. I can never tell the difference between astrology and
Is
astronomy.
astrology star signs?
I can't fucking.
And
remember.
astronomy is stars?
Whichever way around it is.
Whichever one's not the bullshit one.
Yeah. I wasn't just reading Mystic Meg and she was going, yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was these actual like well-renowned people that had bare letters after their name and before the name and stuff, PhDs, all a lot, and they were saying like, I was asked about does Nibiru exist, and could this story be true about the Anunnaki, and they were like, we can't rule it out, and I was like, what?
That's because the universe is so... Oh, dude. Anyone that thinks that we're alone in this universe is so dumb. The fucking size of it. I can't wrap my head around how big this fucking universe is, and we're like, oh, we're the only ones that can do stuff. Fuck off. We're not.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, that's cool. Right,
So yeah, in
Waco.
1993, so basically they'd taken a load
So-
of machine guns.
So, right. Just to recap. These guys broke off from the 7-day... whatever the fuck they were
Avengers
called.
thing, yeah.
Then they broke off from that
Yes.
to make his own one.
Yeah.
And then they lived for like a decade-ish.
Yeah, lived like a
in
decade on
this-
this ranch,
Yeah, okay, cool.
and they bought and sold guns basically.
Okay.
So they were a firearms.
Was this
retail.
like illegally or legally?
I believe it was legally. They went to like gun shows and stuff like that,
Okay.
and bought and sold and all of this stuff. And I think where it went wrong is there was like a report that they was making their own ammunition, making grenades and stuff like that.
Okay.
I think that's how they originally got the warrant. But the ATF, which I think is the Alcohol and Tobacco Federation, something like that, one of the letter
Yeah,
agencies, they rocked up, they issued a warrant. On their way, they asked for directions to the ranch, and they passed like a postman, and they was, oh, where's the Waco or where's Waco and all of this, and he was like, oh, it's up there, sort of thing. And the delivery driver was driving up there, and he went back. He actually happened to be one of the.
Oh shit! So they knew it was coming.
Yeah, so there was like these guys are on their way. They're like all armed and everything like that.
Oh shit!
And like so Koresh had basically told everyone like the end of the world's coming, and then
Oh,
they're
fuck.
like, oh right, this is it. Like get
This is
the
what we've been
guns and everything like that. So I don't think they turned up very nicely to
Aggressive,
start with.
yeah.
They just turned out all these guns, There was like fucking
You could have just gone and knocked on the door
way
and
over
be like,
the top.
yeah, you could have just been like, alright, I hear you're making some grenades. Tell me that's bullshit. And then
Yeah.
they could be like, no, we're not.
When they went to
doing
go serve the warrant, and a gunfight broke out basically. And there's
Isn't
big
there a dispute on
there's a
like
big
who fired
dispute.
what first
Yeah.
and stuff?
So there was like the ATF are saying that the Davidians shot first.
Hmm.
Then after all of this stuff went down, the front door went missing, but the front door showed bullets coming from the outside in. So there was holes all over the bullets, but the bullets weren't shot from the inside out. They was from the outside in. Anyway, the door went missing, but they claimed that he'd shot from behind the door the first bullets, but there was no bullets from the inside out. So
Of course,
that
the
was
door
a
went
dispute.
missing then.
But that went missing, and it was like, hold on a minute, why is the biggest bit of evidence gone missing?
No, because it just goes
It
missing
just went
sometimes.
missing. Yeah,
That's what
So,
happens.
I think there was so the ATF had a go, and I think it was 3 or 4 of their agents got shot, and there was a couple of like the Branch Davidians got shot and they died. Well, I think injured, and a couple of the ATF guys died. So then the FBI rocks up. And they're like, out the way, we're coming in. We want a piece of this. 51-day siege.
Bruh,
51 days, like a month and a bit. What,
that's sick.
5 weeks or so. Crazy.
Was it like people getting murked every day, or is it?
Well, Koresh was saying that he was going to give himself up,
Right.
and he was letting a certain amount of people out each day. Right, he's like, right, you go, and like they were taking. It was really shit the way they done it as well. They were like getting people to come out, so like maybe like a mum with her 2 kids, and they was arresting the mum and taking the kids away.
Bruh.
And it was just like, oh, you bastard. And they let a load of the kids go, and then slowly but surely the parents come out, and then they weren't allowed to see their kids, but they were promised that they was allowed to see their kids.
Cunts.
So yeah, it was just, and then like that minute, their messages were getting back inside.
I stand with the cult.
Yeah, and it was like, so again, as much as he was maybe fucking kids,
I forgot about that bit. I don't stand with the
yeah,
cult.
that's where it was a bit of a sticking point. But they hadn't gone there with a warrant to say you've been fucking kids, we come to arrest you. So a 51-day standoff, and then they're just fucking firing each other. But if there's footage of it, the FBI like driving like tanks into the ranch.
Yeah, I've seen like
driving over their
overshot,
cars,
like, yeah,
just
it's
fucking shooting
wild.
stuff. Yeah, and then supposedly a load of the women and children went down into like basement compound, like where it was supposed to be safe.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, the building just fucking caught alight. Right, so it's, but they were like firing tear gas and stuff in supposedly, and yeah, then all of a sudden, boom, the fire went up, and it was all, and I think only a couple escaped from the fire, and it ended up with like, I think it was something like 75 people dead inside the 76 people dead inside the building basically.
Does that include him?
Including Koresh. He was found with a shotgun. I think it was he'd been shot previously in the first like load of firing, so he was like he was sending videos out from inside, and he's sitting there like,
When was this?
I'm fucked. 93.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's sending videos out of him like, but he's like, he was really negotiating with them, and then they like changed negotiators, and then they just completely
Moving the
changed
goalposts
tactics.
and
Yeah,
shit,
it was a bit shit.
Classic.
But yeah, that pretty much wiped out that little cult. But like, they found like there was like 2 pregnant women, there was like 25 children, all
That's
dead.
so fucked.
And another thing that I read, which wasn't in the documentary, was that a lot of the children, well, I think it was most of the children, they were like laid stiff in a way that they hadn't died from like the fire or like inhaling like the smoke. They died from something else, and they said it was like with like a cyanide poison or something like that.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so like maybe it wasn't just tear gas that was thrown in there. There was also,
Do you reckon maybe Matey could have killed him off?
possibly,
Because that's not the first time that cults decided to cyanide the fuck out of all their people.
but yeah, it was a bit. But there was, I think it was like an investigation in like 2000 afterwards. They pretty much said, yeah, well, the FBI were using like firearms and equipment that were flammable because they were trying to say that he set the fire originally.
Oh.
They reckon that Koresh started the fire, but they was all firing shit into it and throwing tear gas in and fucking all sorts.
That's
of
because the
shit.
Americans are still dumb and they build their shit out of wood.
Yeah, it was that.
Imagine living somewhere with fucking hurricanes and they're like, I'm gonna build a house out of wood. Like, no, why? No, don't do that.
Yeah, it's,
Pour some fucking concrete, cunt.
So yeah, I'm on the fence with that one a little bit. Like, okay, he might have been a bit of a nonce.
Probably sketchy.
But my main problem with it is that he didn't just stay in that like ranch. He was going out to the gun shows. He went out to town. He was a
why
musician.
didn't they just arrest him?
He was playing shows and stuff like that down at like local.
Yeah, so why didn't they just?
They could have got him whenever.
Yeah, they definitely would have been watching him as well. They could have just seen him drive out, pulled him over the side of the road, and been like that. And then it would have just been, even if you had 6 cops on him, and maybe 1 passenger in a car or whatever, that would have been way less commotion than setting fire to 75 people.
Exactly. And then like if they'd have just arrested him, taken him out of the equation, then they haven't got the rest of them then haven't got their follower. They wouldn't know what to do because they're maybe not as bam pot as what he is. And so they could have maybe gone and issued the warrant. They maybe could have done their search without all of the fucking guns and shit like that.
So what do you reckon then? Do you reckon that they did that?
I reckon the FBI fucking done them over because they didn't want to be
part
part
of
of society.
Like what?
Because they didn't want to be part of society, and if there had been a
then,
danger.
But then, how many people don't want to be part of society, and how many people they just not chase after? So why?
I think a lot of people don't want to be part of society, but a lot of people are forced to be in societies. And I think if you're in a cult and you're not in the society, or you only choose to be part of society in certain things that you want to, then because then they can't control you.
Yeah, but then why don't they do that with the Amish? Why haven't they killed all the Amish off? That's what I mean. Like, what's the? Like, I'm not like. I just like to ask questions.
I don't know.
I can see that they would do that, but I just don't know like what the benefit of that would have been.
Don't know. Well, so by all accounts, they weren't harming anybody.
Yeah.
Maybe not yet, but they've gone 10
That's what I
years.
mean. I get the warrant for like if someone's making like grenades and shit. Like, okay, maybe we should go and check this out, but maybe not then turning up with like 50 cars and guns and shit. But then maybe just go and knock on the door and be like, "You making grenades?"
Yeah. But then I suppose like he told them that the apocalypse was coming, and they got it. So
they got it.
Well, exactly, they got it, but they, what do they know?
So was he right or was he wrong?
Well, here's the thing.
Because technically his apocalypse came.
Well, here's the thing. There's several groups that claim descent from the Branch Davidians still running today.
So that wasn't the apocalypse.
Well, the group that retains the original name Branch Davidians, Seventh-day Adventists, regard Louis Roden's immediate successor to have been Doug Mitchell. So this was the original guy that...
Phil Mitchell's brother.
Yeah. Oi. Yeah, he joined this. Doug Mitchell had joined the Branch Davidians in 1978, and he led the group from '86 until his death in 2013. Mitchell's successor was Trent Wild, who's led the group since 2013. This group never followed David Koresh, so they were in the before David Koresh split
before
off,
the split.
but they are still Branch Davidians of that.
So what do they believe? Same shit.
Well.
Or is it just
same sort of stuff,
extreme?
but they don't think that Koresh was the prophet.
Right.
There's another group that exists under the leadership of Charles Pace called the Branch, the Lord, our Righteousness. It is a legally recognised denomination. There we go, denomination, with 12 members, and
12 disciples.
Regarding Koresh as appointed by God. They say that Koresh twisted the Bible's teachings by fathering more than a dozen children with members' wives. But Pace believes that the Lord has anointed me and appointed me to be the leader. But he says he is not a prophet, but a teacher of the righteousness. There's another group led by Clive Doyle.
Are these all still off of
Branch Davidians? Yeah, so these ones are Koresh as well. They continue to believe that Koresh was a prophet, and they're awaiting his resurrection, along with the followers who were killed.
Bro, these people are nutty, aren't they, though?
Both of these groups are still waiting for the end of times, but Doyle died in 2022.
Oh, that must be so exhausting. Just constantly being like, waking up and being like, is Koresh back yet? Oh.
Well, I suppose it's the same as is Jesus back yet?
Yeah, that's why I'm not religious.
Yeah.
I ain't got time for that.
I ain't got time for that shit.
I don't even have time to research for cults.
You ain't got time for this podcast.
No, I ain't got time
star,
for this
man.
podcast. I'm a rock star.
You got 2 bands on the go, bro.
2 bands. I'm a fucking G.
Have you heard about Heaven's Gate cult?
Is this the one with the Nike trainers?
Yes.
Yeah, these are sick.
These are very crazy.
Yeah, I don't get this shit.
No.
This one throws me off.
So in the early 70s, Marshall Applewhite and Bonnie Nettles went on a road trip across America and found a group of people they dubbed the Crew. They called it
They were fucking gangster.
the crew. Applewhite and Nettles called each other Winnie and Pooh.
That's gay as fuck.
Do you reckon like he wanted other people to call him Pooh when he was out? Like, hey, today I'm Pooh.
Maybe. What? Yeah, no, that's
Weird.
like, so that's what I mean. Like, what happened to those guys before they did that?
Well,
Like, because this is what I always think. Because everyone's like, "Oh, the cult guy's crazy," and you watch documentary like, the cult guy is pretty fucking crazy. But you're like, why did you're not just? Surely you're not just born like that.
no. Well, he was thought to be homosexual back in the day when it was difficult to be gay, and he was actually in a mental hospital, or he was in like a rehab or something like that,
Right.
having a nervous breakdown when he met Nettles, and she
What,
was.
because he was gay.
I think it's contributed towards it, yeah.
Right.
And this Nettles was a nurse in wherever she was, and that's where they met. So I think she was the main driver behind it. And there was a cult for quite a long time. And she died in 1985. So this like their whole theology behind it was like a mixture of like Christian, New Age, and ufology. So they were basically characterised as a UFO religion, because sort of what they believed in is like a comet was coming, and that they were going to basically travel on this comet, but they had to like die first to get the best lands. Like they had to pass over first
Yeah, it
to get
was
the
like
best lands in the new
weird.
world or whatever it was. But like their central belief was that they could transform themselves into immortal extraterrestrial beings by rejecting their human nature, and they would ascend to heaven, referred to as the next level, or the evolutionary level above human. So yeah, but then when Nettles died, she died from cancer in 1985. So it sort of challenged the group's like view. Like they originally believed that they would ascend to heaven while alive on board a UFO.
Yeah, that kind of fucked it up.
Yeah.
It?
So then they later, like he's then changed it up a bit and said they later come to
They don't
believe.
miss a trick, these cunts, do they?
No, that's it.
They're
Oh,
like,
yeah,
shit,
that
everyone's
didn't
going to
go
find
down.
out. And they're like, nah, because what happens
Yeah.
is you die first, then you go.
Yeah, then
and
you
they're
go.
like,
So
oh.
that's basically what they said. It was like, yeah, they later believed that their body was merely a container or a vehicle for the soul, and that their consciousness would be transferred to the new next level.
That's so fucked up. That I just don't get how. Like, where do they find these people?
Oh, I don't know.
This is what like gets me every time. I'm like, where have you managed to find? Like, I can't convince 5 blokes on site to do what they're there to pay to do. Sometimes, like, they just look at me like, no. But he can convince like 30, 40, 50, however many people it was, to that they're actual going to be aliens when they die, and they should come and live in a house with them and shit. You're like, how have you? Where do you find these? How does that conversation start? And what are you looking for? Do you just go into like a Burger King and you see a guy sitting on his own? You're like, maybe that guy, and you go over like, what do you think about aliens, bro?
Yeah.
And he's just like, kind of cool. So you're my kind of man. Come this way, brother. And then
Maybe
next thing you know, he's fucking.
Maybe we should go and do like an experiment on it.
I feel like I'll just get punched in the face. I've got one of them faces and one of them voices for that matter.
Shut up, man. Yeah.
Yeah. So weren't there?
So like he encouraged them to give away all of their money, cut off contact with their families.
That's the thing, man. They're always like, yeah, just
You can't speak to your families.
Can't speak to your family.
They're not.
This is your family now.
Yeah, that's it.
It's so fucked. So do you think genuinely these cults, these leaders, so like this chavvy here, Winnie the Pooh,
Yeah.
do you reckon is he fully aware that it's bullshit, or
dunno.
does he genuinely
Is he
believe
deluded
that
as
he's
well?
like?
I don't know.
Because if what I'm saying, if it's someone that they're sat there like, look at these fucking idiots, like I've got them thinking that this is all real, and I can just get them to do whatever I want. Or is he sat there like genuinely like, I'm gonna be a fucking alien tomorrow, bro?
Yeah, has he like lied to himself so much that he believes it? Did he start off knowing it's bullshit and trying to manipulate people, and now he's told so many lies and been so like on board with it that he's now believing it as well? I don't know.
Maybe. Like, I've told some lies before, but fucking, I'm gonna wake up an alien on the next level on a different ship, riding a comet through space.
But I still think he might have been manipulated. Like, I don't think he was a very strong person. I think she was the master manipulator. So I think she manipulated him potentially to start with.
So do you reckon she brainwashed him? So do you reckon she knew it was bullshit?
Yes.
Because she was a nurse, so she would have been
100%.
half sound the mind to get a job.
Yeah.
Oh, bro.
So I reckon that as much as he was the lead, I also think he was delusional as well.
So he was like the scapegoat.
Possibly, but then like he carried it on after she died, and so
Yeah, but
he
that's
was
because
already,
how long were they doing it before she died?
ages like 20,
Like 30 years, 20 years?
yeah, 15, 20
Yeah,
years.
so
something
by that
like
point he's had 20 years of believing this shit,
Yeah.
and she's been like force feeding him.
Yeah,
Bro, she's a mastermind.
but like he managed to get like members to like go on like these diets of like lemonade, pepper, maple syrup
That's not that hard to believe.
in order to get rid of their sexual faults.
But
8 men volunteered to be surgically castrated.
where the
one of
hell are
their
you
things.
finding these people?
I don't know.
Oh,
He convinced them to cut their own nuts off.
bruv.
Like surgically, like not
Yeah,
chemically.
that's not chemically,
That's fucking
That's
off.
getting that rusty spoon right down there, boy.
Yeah,
No, not for me.
and I'm not sure
I'd put
where they got this done. Whether this was at a hospital.
Oh, it wouldn't
or
have been
whether
at a
they'd done
hospital,
it-
surely, 'cause they
Exactly,
don't-
so
they
they
don't-
must have done it themselves.
Bro, they were just on the dinner table one night. And it was
Yeah.
just like, by the way, guys, new rule. You gotta get your nuts cut off.
Yeah,
They're like, what? Is
the
that new
aliens
rule?
told me.
Aliens told me. They told me last night, bro. Come to me in my dreams.
Yeah. Are you
And
gonna
they
do
were
it?
like, oh,
Already done it. Already done it.
yeah, I already done mine. Can you
Yeah.
can you see?
No,
Nah,
bandaged up.
bandage. Can't see, mate. How dare you ask to see the Supreme Leader's nuts?
Yeah, that's really offensive.
All right, get them out on the table. Everyone else is there trying to eat their dinner of lemonade and pepper. And they're fucking cutting their dick off.
Oh,
Nah.
yeah, fucking nuts.
I think at that point, I'd be sat around the dinner table, quite happy in my cult. I'm like, this is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like, not bad. Everyone seems to be on the same wavelength here. This is alright. And then fucking Winnie the Pooh stands up. Hey, Pooh, what you got to say, bro? And he's just like, right, everyone needs to cut their nuts. I was like, I'm out. For that reason, Emu. I'll not be invested in this product. Like, I'll be fucking see ya.
Yeah, man, it's crazy.
Like, I'm good. And now, no, don't say that.
Whereas, like, I don't know how he got them to believe all that shit. Like, this is how mad it was. There was like a comet heading towards like the world.
True.
Yeah, it was a comet called Hale Bop. Right?
Aren't they the? Oh no, that was Mbop.
Mbop Hanson.
Do you reckon that was the song that's playing as it
Yeah.
burst through the atmosphere?
The Three Sisters.
Oh no, you're getting sidetracked again.
Yeah.
Ignore me.
Yeah, so they thought that like the Earth and everything that was on it was about to be recycled to a clean slate,
Country
Believe
style,
in
but I
it.
can't pick it up.
believing that they could hitch a ride on the comet
That would be sick.
and it would allow them to survive. Right?
What, they mean the comments that are travelling at like thousands of miles
Yeah,
an hour?
yeah, they were going to hitch a
that's-
ride.
Yeah,
They just stand there with their thumbs up and a
Yeah,
sign
yeah.
out.
yeah, hitchhiking.
Yeah, idiots. Yeah, they then participated in a coordinated series of ritual suicides coinciding with the closest approach of Comet Hale-Bopp. So as it got as close as it could.
So was it a real comment?
Yeah, the comet was a real thing, and it was like really close. Supposedly,
Is
you
it
could
actually
see
called
it.
Hale-Bop?
Yeah.
That sounds ridiculous.
If you search, I think you can find pictures of it. It was like visible day and night for a period of time.
Is it
got
one
really
of them?
Close.
Is it one of them in the Torrid meteor stream?
No fucking idea.
That's the thing that we pass for every June and November.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you. It was around March. It was the closest that it got to the Earth. So I don't know if it was one of them. Because you said what was that?
Torrid meteor stream.
Yeah, so
meteor
that's
stream.
September and
It's June. I think it's June or July and November. It's definitely November though.
yeah, I don't.
So it's
think
twice
so.
a year we go
So
through.
this was
And that's well sketchy. That shit.
This was March 1997.
Oh,
But-
fair, yeah, well, that one. Must have just been another big boy.
Yeah. So basically what they've done is 39 members of the Heaven's Gate. They dressed up in dark outfits.
This is the dopest shit you're ever gonna hear. This is the cult I want to be part of just for this bit.
Well, I don't know. Yeah.
Well, apart from the end goal, but
Yeah.
this bit's wicked.
They all dressed in dark outfits and matching Nike shoes.
Hell fucking yeah, brother. You get new night trainers before you go and kill yourself.
They drank vodka and ate applesauce. That's funny because his name's like Applewhite as well. Is it? What was his name? Applewhite, yeah.
Winnie the Pooh, bro.
Winnie the Pooh. So they ate some Applewhite applesauce and a pudding that contained barbiturates.
The fuck is that?
They then put a plastic bag over their heads to suffocate themselves.
I'm not gonna lie. I just want the trainers.
Well, there was 39 pairs going spare.
Do you reckon anyone was a size 7?
That's small feet, bro. You might have been able to get like a female.
Ain't nothing wrong with small feet.
Just before the mass suicide, the group's website was updated. So they had their website where they would I can't remember exactly what it was they'd done on the website now, but it's how they generate their money. So it was all like on the website, and then I think they were giving out advice and stuff like that. It was some weird fucking website. Like, they were giving people advice. Like, that's how fucked up.
They were just sending links out to the trainers,
basically, and that's how they made their money. It's fucking crazy. But they put
wait, sorry. Do you reckon they got their money by buying every pair of this one type of Nike trainer that you possibly can get, and then they flogged them at a slight markup online?
Maybe.
And then when they had loads left over, they were like, what are we going to do with these? And then Winnie the Pooh was like, hang on a minute.
We'll wear them for
Suicide.
a hitchhike. Suicide. Sounds like a great idea.
Perfect.
Yeah, so just before the mass suicide, they updated their website. Hailbolt brings closure to Heaven's Gate. Our 22 years of classroom here on planet Earth is finally coming to conclusion. Graduation from the human evolutionary level. We are happily prepared to leave this world and go with the TI's crew.
TI?
I don't know what the TI is. Go with the TI's crew.
The Nike, maybe they meant the Nike TN. Yeah.
Fuck knows.
TNA.
That was what they put on there anyway.
Dickheads.
Weird. They also had armbands, like a captain's armband. It said Heaven's Gate away team. Away with the fucking fairies.
Fucking dickheads.
When police entered the home, they found a line of bodies, each covered with purple fabric. It's one of the largest mass suicides on US soil in history.
Shh. Would there not have been one body that didn't have purple fabric on it? Because I read about this before, right?
Yeah, I was trying
This was like last year. I read about this when it first came up, and it said obviously they all wore their trainers and their fucking sick tracksuits and put their armbands on. Fucking. Dickheads.
Well, they reckon they done it in stages, like 3 or 4 at a time.
Yeah, but then what I'm saying, so then I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. But then I was like, well, no, because there's still going to be one at the end.
But
because
I think
they killed themselves, and didn't they take the bags off or something and then put the purple sheet over them?
So, but then I think the last guy would have just poisoned himself or something.
So then how, like, surely he weren't going to make the comment?
No, but I think
was he stand behind?
He would have like slowly died. I don't fucking know.
Because I thought the whole thing of them being covered and shit was like that was how they transport to the next level. So this he's just dropped 2 pills of fucking cyanide, and now he's like frantically panicking, trying to like cover himself with a purple sheet.
Well, I don't. He just probably just laid there waiting for death because he was like good to go.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, then he's not getting covered with the purple sheet and the plastic bag and all that shit and being prepared like everyone else who's going away on the comet. So is he just staying back?
Maybe
He's taking one for the team.
I don't know who they found, but I remember I was watching a thing that said like the police went in and there was like 3 bodies in that room, 3 bodies in that room, 3 bodies in that room, couple there, like all crammed in these tiny little rooms. It was a big mansion house, but they was all crammed in these little rooms. And then they eventually got up to like this big ass bedroom, and there was just one dude laying on the double bed, and that was Applewhite. So he must have believed it because he went and done it as well. Otherwise, surely he would have not done it. No,
because then he would have got done for like mass
yeah.
suicide.
So this is like one step too far. And
yeah,
he was like,
fuck now, I've got to do it now.
Yeah. Anyway, that was the fucking Heaven's Gate away team.
Do you know what that kind of reminds me of? Scientology.
Oh, fuck them guys.
It's so weird.
It's very weird. I don't quite understand.
Tom Cruise has got 3 front middle teeth, by the way.
Has he?
Yeah, have you seen that?
Was he a fucking reptilian?
He's a fucking Scientologist, bro. Let me show you, because it's fucked. If anyone's not seen this, just quickly Google Tom Cruise front teeth. And he has 3, and it's so weird. Look, that's where like the line should be. And he's got like 3. There's like 1 in the middle. It's really fucked.
That Scientology is that is a cult as well. It's really, really secretive, isn't it?
What is that tooth?
Yeah, that's mad.
Yeah. Anyway, so that just proves that Scientology is weird.
Yeah, that's definitely a cult.
Yeah, that's 100% a cult.
There's one a little bit closer to home for us.
Yeah.
It's been classed as a cult.
What was that?
Tucked away in a quiet part of East Sussex is a radical Christian sect that has shunned modern life and even rejected TV, computers, mobile phones.
Idea.
Let's go join it.
Episode. Wait, what's the cool number? 17.
What number?
17's a cool number, isn't it?
Yeah.
Episode 17.
Yeah.
We're going down there.
Yeah. Record
We're going to do a podcast live from these crazy motherfuckers.
I don't want to fuck them over. They're happily living
We
their
won't
life.
fuck them over. We'll just.
Yeah, they might get scared of a phone though. They might think we're trying to like impose on them. They're like, oh look, there's them guys from the future.
Yeah, but
Do you think Amish people think we're from the future?
nah, Amish people are fully aware. They've just got it right.
They're just like, nah, fuck that.
They've seen what the internet's done. They're like, nope.
Yeah, fuck that. They lift their whole fucking houses up and move
Bro,
them.
have you seen them build a fucking ranch?
Oh,
It's
you watch them videos on
fucked.
YouTube.
Dude, it's insane. And then they just move it.
And
They're
they
like,
got-
oh, all of this grass where we've had the ranch for 6 months dead. So then they just pick it up and walk it over the other. They're like, what?
Yeah.
Like 70 dudes just pick it up. Do you know the beards they have?
I was going to say they got really cool beards.
They got really cool beards, but do you know what that is?
What?
If you've got a beard, it means you're married in the Amish, in the Amish community.
Yeah.
So if you see an Amish guy and he's not got a beard, it's because he's not married.
Ah,
Yeah, I found that out. I can't remember if I found that out.
that's
But-
really cool.
It's cool, isn't it? Like, so if you see an Amish, and then they get that
So
weird.
if I was to join the Amish, I'd have to shave my beard off.
Yeah, because
instead
otherwise
of
I think you're
marriage.
married. You might be able to get yourself a nice little Amish bitch. But they get that like little fucking period where they can go and do whatever they want,
Yeah.
and it can last as long as you want. It can last like 10 years if you really want, but once you go back, like that's it. Then you're done with that shit. So like you'll see these like Amish people, they get to like 18 or whatever, and then they go to like spring break. Imagine your first experience of the world being like loads of fucking Britneys going spring break, woo! Like fuck that. I'd be like, get me back to my Amish town.
Why did that go red?
I'm too loud. It's too loud.
Do you know what? You know how we've
Maxed it.
done a couple of podcasts where people haven't been able to hear us.
Yeah, this one's too loud.
Yeah. So I think Mike was fully expecting to not be able to hear us again.
Oh, cranked it up.
He's put.
Yeah, apologies to that one because Chris texted me as well and was just like, I don't know what the fuck that intro was, but it scared the fuck out of me. Never do that again.
That was so loud.
Yeah.
It was a genuine reaction, by the way.
No, that
guys.
was.
We'd spent like what 45 minutes. To an
Yeah, it
hour
was about
trying to set
45
up
minutes.
4 mics. Like we've only ever done 2 mics before, and we're idiots with this stuff. So we got 4 mics finally. Well, I'm glad Lou was here.
Yeah, well, we was trying everything. We're like googling. I'm on the fucking setup wizard and shit. Like I haven't been on one of them since fucking 2003. I'm
Didn't
on
have a
that.
little
I felt like
paperclip
such
guy.
an old person. I was like, why won't it work? I have 4 mics plugged in. Just record 4 mics. And then Lou just pipes up. He's like, you run it as admin. I was like, what does that even fucking mean? Then he was like, right, do this, do that, do that, do that. Hit record, 4 mics, and then that's when you hear us. Hello. And then the chaos that ensued. And there was a penis on my hand at one point. I'm not sure whose it was. I don't mind. But
Yeah, we know.
that was good fun. But apologies for scaring anyone with that ear rape.
Did you know what's funny? Then people told me that it was too loud.
Can't win with some people, can you?
Some people are never happy.
You can see why people start cults. I'm starting a cult of no complaining.
Yeah.
Please, I'm doing my best. Okay,
Stop getting on my
It's really
back.
fucking hard. Yeah, I'm doing my best. I'm going for a tough time. No, really, I am. Please help.
Send help.
Send help, please. Seriously, the thoughts are getting bad.
Yeah, so anyway, back to East Sussex.
Yeah, sorry.
Which isn't too far away from us. Yeah, the leaders of the private community say there is no debt, no crime, no homelessness, and everyone has a
I
job.
was going to say no homos. I was like, oh, whoa, okay.
No homeless people. Yeah, no homelessness, and everyone has a job, but none of them earn a salary. Bruv, that's fucking paradise.
Apart from the job with no salary.
Yeah, but you don't need to because you've got no debt. You've nothing to pay for.
Yeah, but there's
It's
no
a
mountains
community.
in Sussex.
Well,
If they set that up in the Lake District, that'd be fucking there.
yeah, I suppose.
They could be like, right, you're not getting paid, but you live in the mountains. I'd be like, fair, I'm in.
Yeah, alright.
Let's
Yeah.
go.
But
I
like,
I wouldn't want to get all the way there. Do like a week, and you're like, yeah, this is alright actually. And then you're like, you know what? I'm in. You cut all your ties. You're like,
cut
right.
your balls off.
Great boss. Yeah, that's where it heads. That's where it gets. You don't want to imagine you sit there, right? You've told your family you don't love them anymore, and you're no longer. I will never be called Kieran again. I am now Frog/125. That is it. And they're like, "What? Where the hell does that come from?" Like, don't care. Doesn't matter. That's my name. That's all I'm going to be referred to. And then you get there, you're having a great time with the boys. You're like, "Yeah, this is fucking sick." And then you get around the dinner table 2 weeks in. They're like, "Right, your initiation finalises tonight. You're like, yeah, what I got to do? Sing a song? I'll sing a bit of Adele. Like, come on. And then you get up on the table and they like pull out a rusty machete and they're like, you got to cut your dick off. I'm like, whoa, hold on. And then frantically calling my dad, Dad, I want to come back. Oh no, Frog Splash 125, you can't come home. Fuck.
Sorry,
Then that's the start of a horror film. I'm fucking sprinting home. They're chasing me with a rusty machete, trying to cut my dick off. Like, nah. I'd need to get a contract before I joined the cult and be like, right, what? Are there any hidden agendas here? Oh
dear. So yeah. Anyway, I quite dig what they're doing there. If I was going to join one, I'd probably go there because it's only down the road.
Yeah, and then you could come back.
Outsiders in modern day Britain may find it baffling that none of the children watch TV, play video games, or no one logs onto Facebook or any other social media sites to see what their neighbours are up to.
Better all virgins.
No, there's 300 of them, of the Darvel Bruderhof community.
Are they still the same guys?
Yeah, same people, yeah, these ones in East Sussex, yeah. They must ask permission to begin courting a person of the opposite sex. Divorces are banned.
But who do they ask permission of?
The leaders.
Oh, so there's still a fucking hierarchy.
Yeah.
This is bullshit.
The thing is, though, surely there's got to be a hierarchy and everything, though.
I know, but I'm just like
even in nature, there's always a leader. There's a leader of the fucking lion pack. There's a leader of the
I agree.
and stuff. Like,
I agree.
It's just nature. But someone's got to take control. Like, you look at when we're at work, right? If I don't get out the van in the morning,
we ain't going to work.
we ain't going to work. Someone needs to make them decisions.
I might get out
doing
eventually.
this podcast. We come to set this podcast up, right? And it was like, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. And like, you'd been speaking about it for a while, like ages.
Yeah,
I'd been speaking about it for a little while. And then like the other two we were speaking about it, yeah. And I was like, right, come on in, let's do it. Boom, let's do it. I'm all in. Like, with anything that I do, I'm all in. Like, I'm not going half-hearted with shit. And then like, everyone just flakes. And it's like, well, nothing ever gets done. Otherwise.
I didn't flake. I'm still here, bro.
You're still here.
I'm still
but, like,
here.
Would you be here if I wasn't so... I'm not forceful, but I'm just like, come on in, we're doing it.
For anyone that cares, this is a message for help. He's got a gun pointed at me. I don't want to be here. This is a cult. Send help. I'm the first member and I'm stuck. And he keeps looking at this rusty machete on the side. I'm not sure what he's planning on doing with it. Keeps making rude gestures towards my nutsack. Oh shit.
Anyway, yeah, these guys have got 300 people.
That's quite a lot.
Divorces.
Well, they live on a farm.
Yeah, just like their own little land. Live off the land.
What, like George and Lenny? I want to tend the alfalfa patch, George.
Yeah, just don't squeeze them too hard. Yeah, divorces are banned and their jobs are chosen for them and they don't have any possessions. But
you will own nothing and be happy is what you keep telling me that the world's trying to do, and then they've just done it down there.
Oh, fucking Klaus Schwab. You will own nothing and be happy.
Nah, I just want to go and live in the woods or in the mountains somewhere.
Did I tell you about my friend who joined a cult? Did I tell you about this guy? He joined a cult of mimes and they committed unspeakable acts of violence against him.
Nice.
Dad jokes 101. I'm a dad now, I can tell them jokes.
Yeah, you're bare old. I can't say them ones.
Yeah.
I've still got to be cool.
How far in are we so far?
Hour and 12.
Oh, we're doing alright. I thought this
not
was going to be like a quick fire one we didn't have much to say about.
No, we're good. See, this is what's better when I have no notes.
Yeah, and I've got all the notes and I'll just talk more.
You talk, I just give you generally. You just let my little spastic brain go off on tangents.
Alright.
I get excited about things. I can't help it. Give me another one. Hit me.
Well, I want to go for Jonestown.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Because I've watched shit.
That is so crazy, that documentary, man.
I've watched the documentary. I've watched the program they done on it, like with actors and stuff.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I've listened to a few episodes about things. I've read loads on it.
Was his name Jim? Was it Jim Jones?
Jim Jones.
Yeah.
And it's just...
Isn't it wild?
Wow, it just blows my fucking mind.
I just love that they just... Okay,
right, let's go through it. Let's go through it, and then we'll have a chat about it afterwards.
Try and do a quick background, because I've got some fucking questions.
Yeah, I've not gone long with it. I tried to condense everything that I've read down.
Oh, yeah, I know, but you're condensing, and then I always feel like it needs a second condense after that, because your original draft is like, you know, if you were at school now, they're like, you need to write a 600-word essay. You're like, fuck, I've got 6,000. Because you just deep dive.
That's me.
See, I'd be like, fuck, I've only got 6.
But every other word is and So. Right. Reverend Jim Jones started the People's Temple in 1955.
Cool name.
To help homeless, jobless, and sick people of all races. Sounds pretty good.
Yeah, I'm on board so far.
He attracted a large following through sermons on tolerance, social responsibility and community,
I'm there.
advocating for civil rights and operating homes for the elderly and those with mental issues. Sounds like a sound guy.
He's a cool guy, man.
In 1965, Jones moved his family and the People's Temple to Redwood Valley in California. He'd read an article that suggested that best places to survive a nuclear war was here. So I think he was a bit worried.
Oh, it's all like Cold War and shit was going
the
on,
Cold
wasn't
War
it?
stuff was going on. And he just wanted the best for his people. Again, sounds like a decent kind of guy.
Yeah, I'm good.
So they come under a bit of scrutiny in the US from like the media and stuff like that, just because I think the narrative behind cults and all that sort of stuff. So
But were they classed as a cult? I thought were they not like
they
a
were a
religious?
religion. There was a People's Temple, but any like they started naming any new religions as cults and stuff like that because it wasn't the norm.
Yeah, true.
That's sort of what that first.
Yeah, how long's a religion got to be a cult for before it's a religion?
About 2,000 years. Yeah. So anyway, he started coming under scrutiny. So what he done is he leased some land in Guyana, and he basically set up like an agricultural commune there.
This is the bit that's wild. Like, again, this is where I'm like, okay, but who were these people that were following him, right? Because you're living in California, yeah? Like, especially like back then, it was obviously a bit better than what it is now because it sounds fucked now. But like, you're living in California, like it's not a bad spot.
It's been taken over by another cult.
Yeah,
The
it has.
lefts.
But like, weather's
Fucking
pretty good.
commies.
Living in a cult with these guys that it's pretty good. They're all just for civil rights. You're like, yeah, all right. But like, they're not all working within the cult at this point, are they?
No, I think
They're like they've still got like normal jobs and shit.
They were like visiting the church. It was more of a church. At this
yeah.
time,
So they used to go like once a week.
Yeah, they go to
At
the
what
temple.
point does the guy at your church go like, what? Just go right. By the way, guys,
We're moving.
I bought some land in South America. It's South America, isn't it? Guy?
Yeah.
Bought some land in South America. We're just gonna fuck off down there, set up our own little town. At what point do you go? Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Rather than like, I've got responsibilities.
Don't
Like, I was
know.
all for this when it was just kind of like a Sunday afternoon thing, but I don't know if I can commit to.
I suppose it's a bit like joining a Sunday league team.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, like, right, by the way, boys, we're going to go play in this league over
Yeah.
here. And
By the way, we're playing in the Dutch league. What?
and you've all got to buy houses over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know where do you find the people that are just willing to.
I mean, I'm up for playing in Holland, but
Yeah, same. It's well flat out there. There's no hills.
yeah, isn't it? Cycle rides for you. But you like hills.
Yeah, I like hills.
But I don't like hills as much as you.
No, but I don't really like hills. I like mountains. There's a difference.
I do mountains good.
I like mountains. They make me feel small and insignificant.
Just like the system.
Yeah. Oh god, now I'm depressed again.
Cheer up.
Anyway, bought some land, Guyana.
Yeah, so he bought some land in Guyana, and in 1978, a population, they called it Jonestown, this place.
Nice.
Jim Jones, Jonestown.
It's a bit narcissistic.
Yeah, it's a bit charismatic leadership.
Do you reckon he was like, right, we're all going to put names in a hat
Yeah.
and we're going to pick one out?
Yeah.
Jonestown!
Yeah.
Everyone's like, oh, fuck off, Jim.
Yeah.
That's not what happened. Yeah. And then someone steals the hat and they check all of them say Jonestown.
Yeah, he's changed them all.
He's literally written on every single one,
A bit
Jonestown.
like the US voting.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, an extra. How many extra votes was it?
It was like 81 million votes he got.
81 million votes.
No way did 81 million people vote for Joe fucking Biden.
I saw a sick video the other day.
Yeah.
We could cut this out if you want, but this guy was in court and they were talking about it was basically some guy that basically, when Trump was president, he was like, if the presidency's not in a good state, then the country's not in a good state. And that was like a quote he'd made, and that was all to do with basically trying to get Trump fucking out of the office
Yeah.
and all stuff like that. And then this guy was in court for whatever reason. I think it's against, Donald Trump's getting indicted.
Impeached
or
again,
whatever the
yeah.
fuck's going on. I don't really know. But he's in court and they've got this guy in, and this lawyer says to him, he goes, right, he said, if you could define America in one word, what would it be? And this guy goes, I'd say home. Home is what I'd say. It's just like, okay, cool. He's like, Joe Biden, this is how he answered this question. They showed a video and it's like, if you could describe, she's like, if I could describe America in one word, it'd be the foothills of the Himalayas and the working the people. And like that's his one word for America. And this guy's just like, Now, you said 4 years ago, if the presidency's not in a good state, the country's not in a good state. Did you not? And the guy's like, oh, well, no, but that's... And he's just like, did you not say that? And he like just rinses him. And he's like, now watch this video again and tell me whether the presidency is in a good state. And it cuts to him like fucking falling over. Cuts him like saying these fucking stupid things.
Did you see the one where he fell off the bike? Push bike.
Oh, mate, that is the best. Like, how the fuck is... How have they voted a guy in that's so fucking old?
Well, they didn't.
Well, yeah, they did.
Put it
They
that
may
way.
not.
I hope RFK wins against him.
Yeah, same. But
I mean,
like,
there's no way that he can't.
I
but-
can't.
Unless he gets Clinton before that.
Oh, probably.
I mean, he's been on Rogan now as well.
He's
so
going to
I
get
think
Kennedy'd.
both getting Clinton. Where was we at anyway?
You can cut that out. That's fine. But I just really need
No,
to tell you about
I'm
that video.
going to leave it in because fuck Joe Biden.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
What is it? Let's go, Brandon.
Let's go, Brandon.
Did you hear that? They're saying, let's go, Biden.
Let's go, Biden.
No, they're not.
No,
they're saying,
they're not.
fuck Joe Biden. Where was it? Yeah, so Jonestown had a population of around 900.
That's a lot of people.
That's a lot of followers, man.
If I had 900 people at a gig, I'd be gassed.
Yeah. But a few disillusioned members tipped off the American media, saying there was an armed compound in South America and they were rehearsing for mass suicides.
Well, they were rehearsing for it already.
White Night, White Night. Do you not remember that? Have you not seen that?
Oh, yeah!
They're just over the tunnel in the middle. White Night, White Night. And then bring them all into the pavilion and start telling them like how the world's going to start doing his fucking sermon speech and all of this. And he would just terrify them all and then send them back. White Night, White Night. Weird.
So strange. Guys, you need to watch a documentary, by the way.
Yeah. Anyway, November of 1978, Congressman Leo Ryan travelled to Jonestown to investigate the reports about the armed compound, basically.
Why did it have to be a congressman?
I think he just took. I think a few of the families of the people who had gone and
Oh,
joined,
that was it.
they
I
sort
remember.
of went.
They
to
were
their
like
local-
worried, weren't they? They were
yeah,
like, I
they're
don't really know
we're
what's
not
going
sure what's
on.
going on here. I'm not sure they want to be there. We think they might be getting imprisoned, like
Falsely
against their
kept
own
there.
will.
Yeah.
And then he was like one of the only ones who was like taking it seriously.
so I think,
he was like, "Well, I'll go down there then, and just see." And he
the last good politician.
yeah, and he basically told members if they wanted to leave, he could take them with him. Now, he went round. I think he spent like a day or two at the compound, and he met Jim Jones, and he met everyone, and he spoke to all of the people who the families were concerned about. And most of them were like, "No, we're good to be here. It's all cool." Like, obviously brainwashed, but
Yeah.
it's all cool. And he was going to write a genuinely good report. He said like conditions were good, people were happy, seemed
Yeah, 'cause
happy
it
to
didn't
be
seem. It didn't seem like a. It wasn't like a slum, was it? Like unlike
No,
the
no,
videos and stuff. It seems like
there.
pretty.
Genuinely quite nice. And he said he told, I think it was like his right hand man or something, that he said like, yeah, no, like everything's fine. This is what I'm going to write. Like, you've got nothing to worry about. Like, there's some people that want to leave, but that's fine. Like, there's still like loads of people
It
that
seemed
are
like
still
another
here,
800
still enjoying
people
it.
there.
So yeah. So anyway, on his way back to his plane, basically, Leo Ryan, 3 journalists and 1 defector were shot and killed as they tried to board their plane.
Bruh.
Whew.
That's where it went. Bang.
That's when it went wrong. So I think this
So-
happens quite a lot in cults. They do one thing that's like, they do that one bad thing, and then they go,
Shit.
"Oh fuck,
Yeah.
that's it now. We got to go all out.
Shit.
This is it. This is done." So, but after Ryan's departure from Jonestown, I think it was his missus, put a broadcast out on the public address system, stating that everything was all right, and asked the residents to return to their homes. So I think they might have heard gunfire or something like that, or
Right.
they might have still been up in arms about the visit. But then she's gone.
So
"No,
why
it's
did
all
they
good,
why
it's
did
all
they
fine."
kill him? I can't remember now. It's been a while since I watched the documentary. Did they think that he was going to go back and be like, this is fucked? So then they thought like the US Army and shit were coming.
I'm not 100% sure, but I got a little bit afterwards of what
Okay.
Jim Jones told the people.
Right. Okay.
Right. So yeah. So she said like, everything's fine, everything's all right, and asked the residents to return back to their little homes or whatever. But during this time, Age prepared a large metal tub with grape flavour aid, poisoned, with lots of zines that I can't say, but cyanide, chlorohydrate, diazepam, chlorpromazine, chloroquine, a lot of fucking
A lot of
quins.
shit that
Yeah,
probably shouldn't
a lot
be.
of stuff that's not good. Basically, a poison concoction in a big punch bowl, basically. So it was
Poison punch.
yeah, poison punch, basically.
That makes it sound fun. I'd have some.
Yeah, all queuing up for
If
the
someone was like,
punch.
"You want some poison punch?" I'm like, "Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone else has got some poison punch. Let me get in on that."
The concoction was prepared with the help of a Jonestown in-house doctor, Larry Schatch. I think that's what it's about. It looks a bit German, but probably a Nazi.
Yeah, probably.
He was a Texan native and former methamphetamine addict who got sober with the help of Jones, who subsequently paid for his college education for him to become a doctor.
Oh, fair play.
He'd been researching the best ways for a person to die in advance of the
Not so
foreseen
much fair play.
mass suicide.
Fucking hell.
After 30 minutes after the announcement about going back to their houses, Jim Jones made his own call, basically calling all members immediately to come to the pavilion. So, white night. There's a 44-minute cassette tape known as the death tape. It records part of the meeting between Jones and his followers. And this is, in quotes, this is what he said. "One of those people on that plane is going to shoot the pilot. I know that. I didn't plan it, but I know it's going to happen. They're going to shoot that pilot, and down comes the plane into the jungle, and we had better not have any of our children left when it's over, because they'll parachute in here on us." On the tape, Jones urged temple members to commit revolutionary suicide.
Bruh.
Basically what happened, they all queued up
To get some sippy cups.
to get their fucking punch. And I was going to make a joke there, but I think the punchline might be too long.
You
That
need
was
to stop
bad,
with the dad
wasn't it?
jokes.
That was horrible.
God damn.
Oh, dear.
Carry on. But so they all just queued up with their sippy cups. Like, yeah, go on then.
Yeah, basically. So he basically ordered them to drink cyanide-laced drink. Guards armed with firearms and crossbows had been ordered to shoot anyone who attempted to flee. 909 plus members queued up in a long line. That's a long punchline, trust me.
Bro.
This resulted in the loss of 909 lives. Other followers who were living outside of the compound also committed suicide.
Oh yeah, there was.
So some people in
yeah.
Georgetown, not too far away, and I think it was his missus and a couple of his
There was
kids.
there was like a mum with like the
two daughters,
daughters, and they like killed themselves. Mate,
yeah, it was fucking crazy.
I just don't like. What I want to know is at what point does it get weird? Because like it always starts out as like a cool little, either like a little new religion or a little like spurt off of a religion. And it's like, okay, this is all groovy, everything's fine, and then bam, you turn around and he's balls deep in your missus and you're drinking a sippy cup full of cyanide. Like, what the fuck?
Where did it go wrong?
Like, how does that happen?
It's master manipulation, isn't it? Like, you had to sort the same thing. I'm probably not going to cover it too much today, but Manson.
Oh,
Like,
that's
there's
a whole
theories
episode
that go
on its own,
around
man.
that like he was like MK Ultra basically.
Yeah.
Which was a whole mind control thing.
Which basically means that they taught him how to use LSD to control people, because that's what the FBI and the CIA
but not
were
just
all
LSD,
doing.
just like ways of wordings and things like that.
Yeah.
Because have you ever listened to an interview from Charles Manson?
Yeah, bro, he's
Like
really
he could get
intellectual.
me to follow him, whatever.
Oh, bro, he's so
he's
like
so convincing.
charismatic. He's got the riz.
And he just like the way he talks, the sort of
He's really intellectual as well. Isn't he? Like that. Yeah, straight up.
So like,
I'd go American actress.
by the way,
That's not who they were aiming
he's
for.
one of the only people who's been put away for murder who never actually murdered anyone. Free Charles Manson. Oh, he's dead.
Oh, right.
Where was I at with fucking Jonestown?
I don't know. You got to the bit where they all killed themselves, and that was.
Oh yeah, so there was other followers living outside of the compound who
And they
also
all
killed
killed
themselves.
themselves,
Yeah. Jones was found lying dead next to his chair in the pavilion between two other bodies.
And he
His
killed
head-
his himself.
His head cushioned by a pillow. His death was caused by a gunshot wound to his left temple.
Pussy. He didn't even have any of the
take
party
Kool-Aid,
juice.
No.
Motherfucker.
Well, bit deep for this episode, but if you want to like read into it, there's like witness accounts of some of the people who managed to escape, the survivors.
Oh shit.
There was a couple of guys who, I think it was before Ryan, Congressman, had left, they'd been tasked with taking a load of money to the Soviet Union because they were like supporting of like the communist regime.
Right.
And
That's where it went wrong.
I think
Fucking commies.
they got to a certain point and they turned around. I think they heard about the suicide, so one of the guys went back to try and get his wife and his children, and as he got back, he basically found that she'd just given the kid the poison, and he was like, and he had to be dragged away by, I think it was his brother had gone with him. He dragged them away. They fucked off. So they've given like eyewitness accounts. And then I think they heard gunshots as well. There was another guy who managed to sly out into like middle of the jungle somewhere on his own, and his witness account sort of it ties up with what these two guys had said. He then nipped back into the compound after the suicide to grab his passport so he could get away. He just the images are horrendous. Like seeing all them bodies, there's like helicopter shots. Of
Yeah,
all
I've seen all like the helicopter. Do you reckon it was like, because isn't cyanide poisoning like horrific?
Yeah, those other ones, they reckon there was like needle wounds in them and stuff like that.
That's the thing, but obviously it was mixed with everything else. Do you reckon it was like you just knocked yourself out and then died?
Yeah, there was other stuff they reckon they was giving them to like deal with the pain and things like that. But they reckon that most of the children died within 25 to 30 minutes. But like for the adults, it was a lot longer.
But then that's what I mean, like, sure, because if you have like cyanide, don't you? I can't. Well, I don't really know. I've never had cyanide, never tried it. But if
recommend it,
someone offers it to me, I might. But yeah, don't you like throw up like violently and it's like horrific? You're like fucking, you just die an awful death.
Yeah.
Where it's mixed in with all them other Zams and Pams, would that not have literally just like, I mean, you just wake up dead?
No, as I said, there was reckoned it took ages for it to kick in, and people drinking it. And then going and finding a spot to lay down at, and then like people obviously giving it to their kids, and then going and laying down with their kids, and just their kids would obviously die before them.
Bruv, I couldn't. I'd need something that was instant if I was going to top
like
myself.
A gunshot.
Because otherwise, I'd take a little sip of that drink, and be like, yeah, I've made the right decision. I'd sit down and be like, oh shit,
here it comes.
Oh god.
Just after you do a sambuca.
Yeah, literally a Jaeger bomb hits my stomach, and I'm like, oh my god.
Chunder dragon.
That'd be horrible.
There was a couple of people survived.
Survived the cyanide?
Well, they was intended to be poisoned, but they managed to survive. Grover Davis.
I bet they did the old trick where they like pretend to drink. You know when you turn. You know when you do it to like a kid. You're like, oh, yeah. And you pour it behind behind your head. Yeah, like Jim, I'm drinking. Yeah.
Yeah. One of them, she was hard of hearing. She missed the announcement.
Hey.
Yeah. She missed the announcement to assemble.
She was sleeping.
Yeah. So. Yeah, when she come out and realised what had happened, she just laid down in a ditch and pretended to be dead. She like laid down with the other bodies and stuff, pretended that and then she like woke up once everyone was already dead. There was another one who realised that what was happening, and she just crawled under her bed, and then she like basically walked out after everyone was obviously already dead. So they survived, plus the 3 guys that got away. Plus,
so did they not want to kill themselves? Had they heard the announcement, would they have done it?
So one of them didn't hear the announcement.
Yeah, she was deaf. She was probably like, huh?
Huh? No one had done the sign language to her.
They were saying, drink the Kool-Aid. And she was like, hearing that. I haven't got any. Drink on you can't. Yeah, but no, I'm saying, had she had her hearing aids in and not been tossing it off like sleeping, would she have drunk the shit?
I don't know.
Because surely if they stumbled out on 898 people dead or whatever the fuck it was,
shit.
Would they not have just gone, oh, maybe I should get in on the juice?
Don't have to do it, but apparently there was people who didn't want to. So there was, I think.
Oh, weren't they like squirting?
They were forcing people to have it because there was a couple of people who stood up and questioned the mass suicide because he'd given this whole long speech about the plane coming in and crashing. Then they heard some gunshots or something, and then they saw the armed guys come back, and it was like they had like the death stare in them. Like they know, like people like they've just went and killed them.
Yeah.
It's like, hold on a minute, how's the plane going to crash then?
Yeah.
Like he's told them the plane's going to crash down and to kill all their children, and they're like, but the plane ain't taking off now because you've killed these fucking people.
Yeah.
Like that ain't going to happen.
So that's what I mean. So like some people
questioned
weren't that like too far gone.
Yeah.
They still had like some.
But it was forced into them.
Rationale.
Some of them were injected with it, apparently.
Oh, imagine being held down though and you're getting injected with party juice.
Yeah.
That ain't for me.
Mad. So yeah, that's.
No thanks.
I think his son survived also. I believe from. I think his documentary I watched. He was on documentary, but in the like the series of it, he like was staying in the Georgetown bit somewhere, and he was trying to get his like sisters or whatever.
Oh yeah, when he's trying to get his sister to get out.
Something like that. Yeah, and then they didn't listen, so he just fucked off and left.
Fair.
Yeah.
No saving some people, is there?
But I mean, that's cult of all cults. That is crazy.
Yeah, convincing 900 people to drink some poison is pretty lit.
I read a thing as well. It was like the biggest amount of deaths of American people in like one event, it was the biggest one right up until 9/11.
Really?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
How many people was it? Like 900?
900. I think it was with all of the followers all combined. It was like 913.
Yeah, shit.
900.
I suppose there wasn't really anything. Like even like crazy shit like other terrorist attacks have gone. It's like 30 people dead and it like 40 people get blown up or whatever. Bruh, 900's actually mad.
Yeah, just under 1,000 people dead. And I don't know. So that was the 900.
Do you know what?
That was the 913 suicides. Plus, then there was the ones who got shot.
900 people. That's 9,000 toes.
Oh, that's a lot of toes.
Unless some of them
Didn't
from
have
sheerness or something.
Yeah. Maybe a couple
that-
of toes together.
A couple of toes together, a couple of extra ones poking outside.
Yeah. There might have been like amputees and stuff.
I reckon on average it'd still be about 9,000. Then you've got a couple extra, a couple without some.
Yeah, about 9,000 toes. That's a
Makes
lot
up
of
for it.
toes.
It's a lot of toes to be fucking cyanided up, that, isn't it?
Yeah. But like the other weird thing, I only sent like one doctor down there as well afterwards to do like postmortems. But he got through about 250
probably
bodies.
pretty obvious. By the time we got to 249 and every single one of them had been cyanide poisoning, he's probably like,
Yeah.
fuck this.
But like, he was the one who noticed like the injection marks and stuff and was like, that they were forced. Or they said they also found some other stuff in it. It was like pain relief stuff as well. So like if they were in too much pain, they got some pain relief and just fucking crazy
Nah,
shit.
ain't for me.
I don't think any cult's gonna beat that one.
No, I think that's...
That's like an unbelievable story. If someone made a film about that and it wasn't a true story,
Was that the one you were going to start with?
I was to start, and I was like,
And
nah,
then,
I need to
yeah,
end-
that's good. That's good. Yeah,
Nothing
it's kind of
beats that.
fucked.
I mean, he's the man of the match for this one.
I think he wins. His kill to death ratio is pretty fucking sick.
Yeah.
913 to 1.
Yeah.
Come on. That's a
Crazy
wicked
cunt.
record.
I don't know, if let's say he survived, he'd go, do you reckon he'd go down with murder?
100%.
Or would it come down as something else?
Well, he'd just be like, I didn't make the fucking party juice.
Yeah, like he could have sat there, like a bit like Manson, though. He got done for murder. He didn't actually do the murdering, but he managed to convince people to go and murder.
Yeah, so he's convinced them to kill. Well, isn't in some... I don't know if it's changed now, but I know it used to be like, in some places, suicide was classed as murder. It was weird. I'm sure it was like some states or
murdered
some
yourself.
countries because you murdered yourself, so it's classed as murder. So then it was always confusing where if you'd attempted suicide,
You'd attempted
you could get arrested for like attempted murder.
That's interesting.
It's weird because it's a weird way of looking at it. Because you're like, I mean, technically, murder is the taking of a life.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really fucked up. It's weird, but I don't know if that's changed now. I know it used to be, it was different in some places. So would that have been? Because if he's convinced everyone to kill themselves,
Yeah. But
unless
also,
killing yourself is still classed as a murder wherever it happens, that's technically not. I don't know. I don't know how it works.
also, because Guyana isn't part of
America.
So like, would
So
the laws
surely it'd be
different
whatever the
then?
laws would be there. Or is
I
it
don't
because
think
or
with
is it
the
because
US
they're American? How do they get out there? Do you have to have like? You don't have to have visas and shit, surely. Not back then, no.
Nah, just passports. Surely.
But then you still. How does it work? Like if I suppose if you go abroad now and like kill someone, you get done in that country, don't you?
Yeah. And also, if you was out in another country and you got murdered, your country wouldn't be able to prosecute the person who'd done it. Surely.
No, it'd be that.
Confusing shit. That's way beyond our fucking level of shit.
Yeah, I can't reach that right now.
So, go back to the question that we started with, like near the beginning. Like, why are we so fascinated with this shit? It's just because it's so outrageous.
I think so. I think it just blows my mind.
Yeah.
Because I'm so. It must be hard though, because you listen to like cult people who have escaped cults, and they're like, you just have no idea. Like you have no idea that you're even that you're so wrapped up in it, that it's like the right thing, and it's like like everything, and then you kind of come out of it, or you manage to escape, or something happens again, and then you kind of go, oh shit, like I was in that for 20 years. I like wasted 20 years of my life. Like what the fuck?
I think it's weirder.
It's a bit like being a Sparky. I've wasted 10 years of my life doing this shit.
Yeah, there's that shit. I think it's like as well, like if you're born into it, you don't know any different.
That's the thing as well.
But I think the weirder thing is to live a normal life for 40 odd years and then go into it.
But it's the people that I need to watch that one about that one I was telling you about the other day. the place that Rogan was going to buy for his
Oh,
comedy
yeah.
club.
Yeah.
And then it turns out it was built by a cult, and it was built by this guy who basically convinced everyone to like go live with him. And they built this theatre, which is why he was going to buy it, because it was like perfect for a comedy club. And it turns out that he had that built. This cult guy had that built so that he could like perform for his like followers and shit. And he was like one of them. He was like a raging homosexual,
Yeah.
but it was like obviously frowned upon back when he started this cult. And then so he basically started this cult so that he could fuck all the guys. But like he basically told all the guys that he was kind of like fucking all the women, but then they ended up getting like fucked by it. It was so fucking weird. But this guy was like quite a good looking dude. Like
Yeah.
when you see photos of him when he was younger, so he was just like
So was he
shredded.
just doing like a massive fucking?
It was basically
human
just a giant
centipede?
orgy. I can't remember what I think it was called, like Cult from Hell or something like that.
Yeah.
But I need to watch it. But it's about that cult. But it's from this guy who was the videographer for them for 20. Like he was in the
Oh,
cult
yeah.
for like 20 years, and he like recorded like everything, like sermons or whatever the fuck you want to call it, gatherings, like everything that went on. He recorded it, and then when he eventually left the cult, like he obviously still had all this footage, and then he's taken like a few years since he's been out. But he's like, oh shit, and he's like made this documentary about it. I really want to watch it because it's like actual proper like VHS footage and shit. Like,
Yeah, that's mental. There was
actually,
one.
because you hear people talk about it and they're like, for 20 years, like I thought that was it. That was everything. That was right. It's just all like crazy manipulation of that, and it's fucked.
There was something I was reading earlier as well. Like there was quite a few celebrities that have been part of cults.
Yeah, Tom Cruise, Scientology.
Yeah, Scientology.
It's got 3 teeth at the front.
There was.
Google it.
Oh, I've got the list here. Boy,
You got a list.
I've got a lisp.
What, of cult celebrities?
Yeah, but like
Legit cults.
a lot of them were born into, and like legit celebrities.
Yeah, because before when you did celebrities on that tsunami one, you're telling me about a fucking Finnish skier who got like the bronze medal in 1983.
He survived though. I wasn't quite sure on the swimwear woman who survived.
Well, that hung onto the tree for like 8 hours.
Yeah, she survived.
Mad. Anyway,
Glad she had the best swim gear.
yes.
River and Rain Phoenix.
Oh shit, yeah.
Yeah, they was in the
And Joaquin,
yeah. What the fuck? What am I saying?
they were in. I read about
Was
this
it
the other day.
Children of God.
That was it.
That one where they were basically fucking children.
Yeah.
Right.
I think they got out when he was like. Well, I think Joaquin was like 3.
Joaquin was 4. Yeah.
Yeah, like 3 or 4. How old was River then?
I don't know if he was older or younger.
I think he was younger.
Yeah.
Maybe not actually. I think maybe he just died young.
Yeah, he died well young.
John Frusciante killed him.
Badass motherfucker.
That's not a conspiracy. I think he was younger. Maybe. I don't know. Who cares? Not me.
Yeah, then there was, I don't really know this one, but Kira Maguire. She was in some weird little.
Kira Maguire. What do I recognise
she was in
that?
Project Kira.
Kira Maguire. Let me have a look.
The cult was actually founded by her dad.
Australian reality TV star. 2016.
Oh.
Oh my god.
I remember actually this guy's not on the list, but he's a fucking hero either way.
Mm-hmm.
The WikiLeaks guy,
Oh,
Julian Assange.
really?
I think it was his mum was in a cult, or I don't know whether it was a cult. It was just a little like spiritual gathering sort of people.
Right.
They lived on their own little commune, and I don't know. I can't remember if he was born into it or whether he got introduced to it young, but he obviously didn't stay in it.
Yeah.
That guy's a hero. Glenn Close was part of a spiritual movement.
Fair.
Oh, it's a woman, Glenn Close. Oh, she plays fucking
Glenn Cole.
101 Dalmatians. Is that her?
Cruella de Vil.
Is that her?
I don't know.
It looks like her. If it's
100
not her, she
Isn't
looks
101
like her.
Dalmatians cartoon?
You not seen the real one?
When was that?
There's been like 101 and 102 Dalmatians. Please
Ah.
tell me you've seen them films.
I ain't seen the real one.
You haven't seen the real one?
No, I've been seen the OG cartoon ones.
No.
Yeah.
You need to watch them.
When did they come out?
Like years ago. We had them on fucking video.
Well, if we had them on video, I'd definitely. Oh, yeah, I've seen that. Yeah. Yeah,
It's got,
of course I- yeah,
It's got the guy from Dumb and Dumber in it.
yeah. I just had a brain fart.
Rose McGowan. She was part of the Children of God as well.
Wait, which one's Rose McGowan?
It's just like this.
Yeah, don't recognise her.
She was.
I'm
in-
terrible with celebrities.
Yeah, I am. Don't do the celebrity shit.
I don't know. Did you say she was Children of God as well?
Yeah, Children of God.
Did you know it was initially called the Teens of Christ?
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Teens for Christ. Children of God was founded in 1968 by David Berg in California.
Oh yeah, Berg.
Attracting young runaway hippies. Nonce. Berg, wait, I don't know how old he was.
Oh,
He preached.
he done like cartoons and shit. I'm sure that was the guy.
He preached worship that combined the ways of Jesus Christ with the free love movement in the 60s, group living, zealous proselytizing, what the fuck that is, and isolated communes.
Is that not just like PR?
Probably. Members who amounted to 15,000 people across the world at its peak.
Yeah.
Didn't work or go to school. The Children of God didn't believe in the nuclear family, so children were grouped together and lived separately from their parents.
So I read something about that. It's like they didn't do their own birthdays.
I
think it was at Rose McGowan when she didn't have her first birthday till after they'd left, so she was like 7 before she had like her first birthday.
Right.
They didn't celebrate her birthdays
That'd be a spin out.
because there's just so many children. Yeah.
Well, in the late 70s, Children of God became notorious for the sexual practices that one of Berg's own daughters later described as religious prostitution. Berg coined the term flirty fishing, a sexual practice in which women would allegedly have sex with men to bring them into the cult. Berg promoted and encouraged a sexualization of children within the Children of God community. As Berg manipulated the COG family with his sadistic practices, members started leaving the community, including the families of actors Joaquin Phoenix and Rose McGowan, who both grew up in Children of God communes.
Yeah. I read a thing. There was a documentary I watched about. I'm sure they were living in Bromley now, this family, and they was all in it. But they've basically lost their daughter to it. They're out in, I think it's like South America somewhere. They're still out there, still in it.
It's so fucked.
And they come and find you when you try and leave.
Yeah. It's weird. It says former members began coming forward in the early 90s, describing an environment that permitted and encouraged the physical and sexual abuse of young children. Ricky Dupuy appeared on a talk show in 93 and revealed that he had been ordered by the group to rape a 10-year-old. Jesus. Dupuy later committed suicide like many other members of the group, including Berg's son, Ricky Rodriguez, who was sexually abused throughout his life by his father and the group. Although Berg died in 94 while under FBI investigation, probably got clean.
Or he went to Epstein's Island on a submarine.
Or that. Nah, he definitely knew people were involved in some sketchy shit, like you're saying. He went to Epstein's Island and was helping out.
Yeah.
And then the FBI were like, now we're going to have to kill him. So he died. He got Epstein. The Children of God cult continues to exist and now goes by the name Family International, although the group claims that the horrific practices are a thing of the past.
Yeah, of course they are.
I don't believe that.
They're
all sketchy.
So yeah, mainly cults start from religion.
Cults start with one guy who wants to fuck everyone.
Yeah.
And it ends with one guy fucking everyone.
And I think that's a good place to leave it.
Probably.
Good quote.
Good quote. Don't get fucked. Be the fucker, not the fucky. Fucked.